Okay, to do that on factoring trinomials, we have basically three terms or three ways. We have all terms positive, with one of them negative, or with both of them negative. So we can go through a couple examples all on the same page, and then in class we'll go over the other ones. When we talked about it before, we said we have the question, is there anything in common? These are the problems when there's nothing in common. So instead of multiplying to get a trinomial, we're going to be factoring to find out where it came from here. So here everything's positive. Very simply, all we need to do is look at the last numbers. Factor to this to add up to the middle term. So when we look at these examples, we're going to look at the last term. Ask the question, what multiplies to equal 6 adds to equal 7? There's only one choice, 6 and 1. We have two sets of parentheses. X times x is always x squared, plus 1 plus 6. You can always double check. 1 times 6 is 6, 1 plus 6 is 7. So you know it's correct. Or you can use the whole method and get back to the answer. So here we're going to look at 24. We got factors 24. We have 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. Once you get to 5, it doesn't go into it. 6, you're already back to where you started. We want one of these that adds to 14. So if you look through your list, we only have one choice that adds to 14. We have two sets of parentheses. X plus 2, x plus 12. 12 times 2 is 24, 12 plus 2 is 14. And it doesn't matter if you write the x plus 12 first or the x plus 2 first. Just both have to be in parentheses. Okay, so 48. So we know this form. We have x times x, everything's positive. Only thing we're considering is factors of 48 that multiply to give you 48, add to give you 19. If you think about factors, you have 1 times 48, 2 times 24, 3 times 16, 4 times 12, 5 doesn't go into it, 6 times 8, we want to equal 19. So if we look through our list, the only one that equals 19 is 3 and 16. 3 and 16. Okay, I'm going to get into the answers on the rest of these. So on the first piece, you can see this as an example. You really need to make sure every single one has the form of two sets of parentheses, x plus. Doesn't matter what the factors are. Each one should start out this way. So we're going to the last term. We have 1. Only one choice. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Works. Here we look at 50. 50, you've got 1 times 50, 2 times 25, 5 times 10. We're wanting a factor that adds to give us 27. And so we have 2, 25. Every single one of these looks at you. Here we look at 24, we list the factors of 24 up above. Up here we want it to add 14, here we want to add 10. So you can have the same factors but a different result. So this time we want to use 4 and 6 because 4 plus 6 equals 10. So whatever this middle number is going to change what your factors are. So that's with everything positive. We're doing the same thing, but these are going to be negative. The main thing you need to notice with the negative is that if the last number is negative here, the only way to get a negative is to have one positive, one negative. So in parentheses, you have to have separate terms. We're still going to look at the factors of the last number, but every single one of these should have x plus and x minus. because the only way it's going to multiply to give you the last term is if one's positive and one's negative. If you'll recognize the form, it'll give you a hint as to what the rest of it is. Now we're going to do what we did on the other page. We're going to look at this last number, 25. You've got 5 times 5, which one has to be negative. You have 1 times 25, and we know how to get the factors. We want to add it to 24. This one has to be negative. It could either be the 1 or it could be the 25. 5 and 5, you know, add it to 24 anyway. That doesn't work. Then we look at these. We want negative 24. This is the one that's going to give us negative 24. So the negative has to be with 25, and the 1 has to be positive. There's always a question as to how to know if it's addition or subtraction. Whatever your factor is, goes with the 1 in parentheses. So here we're looking at 30. We've got 3 and 10. We've got 2 and 15. 1 and 30. And we want the one that's going to add up to 7 in some way. And since one's positive, one's negative, you have to have a subtraction. That's not going to work, and that's not going to work. So our choices are either negative 3 and 10, or 3 and negative 10. Since you want the positive 7, 10 has to be positive, 3 has to be negative. And then for 35, you have 1 and 35, you have 5 and 7, you're trying to get a 2. 1 has to be negative. We can't add or subtract that and get 2. If we have a negative 5, we're going to get positive 2. If we have a negative 7, you're going to get negative 2. So this is the one that we want. Positive 7, negative 2. The main key there is that your signs need to be opposite. Okay, the last one that's going to be on your page is where only the middle term is negative. Notice here, if this is positive, you have to multiply a negative times a negative to get a positive. So all of these in parentheses should have 2 negatives. That last number is your key on every single one. That tells you your size. And then that's what we just did before. 15, we have 5 and 3, 1 and 15. We're trying to get negative 8. Since they both have to be negative, you don't have to worry about switching signs. We want 5 and 3. You should always check. Negative 5 times negative 3 is positive 15. Negative 5 plus negative 3 is negative 8. Here we're going to get 30. You're going to see some of the same factors over and over and over. But depending on the middle number, you're going to use a lot different ones with different signs. And we also have negative 1 and negative 30. The only one that's going to add to 13 is going to be negative 3 and 10. I know 15 and 2 will give you 13 if one was positive and one was negative. But these both have to be negative. Because we're saying negative times negative, multiplying to the positive, adding to negative. Okay, and the last one on here, we get 25. 1 and 25. 5 times 5, we're trying to get 26. So remember, all of our factors must be negative. This is going to give us 10. And here's the factor that we want. And if we check, 1 times 25, here comes negative positive, negative plus negative is negative. Those should be the same thing. So the key is to look at the factors from the last number on every single one of these. It's going to add, give you the middle number, and multiply, give you the last number. So always go back and check your factors.